So I want to talk about a very subtle change that Instagram made last week, but it is causing a bit of a tizzy on the internet. If you've opened the app recently, you may have noticed it immediately. The infamous Wordmark, Instagram's logo at the top, has changed. I want to talk about what this means and what it specifically means for your business. But first, we got to get some coffee. All right, Starbucks mug, Arizona mug, let's go. So first, let's clarify what's changed. If you've seen on the news or anywhere on social media that Instagram has changed their logo, I want to talk about what they actually did. Instagram didn't necessarily change their logo. They changed the word mark in the app. So when you open the app and at the very top where it says Instagram, those words right there, that word, looks a little bit different. And why did they even change it to begin with? Well, the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, said that it's been about roughly 10 years since they did any kind of rebranding or redesigning and thought it was time to modernize that word mark. The goal wasn't to change the logo. It was to refresh the brand and to bring Instagram to a space where Instagram feels like it's better positioned and what reflects it better today. But the internet did not quietly accept this change. Some users thought that this was an unnecessary change, specifically since Instagram's logo has become so iconic and identifiable within the brand. Others don't mind it. They see it as a natural evolution of branding and of a business that's growing, and refreshing logos can be a part of that for sure. Designers have also been divided. Some like the clean typography. Some think it looks like it says Instagazam, or like the R looks like a Z, which I kind of agree with actually. Whether you see it or not, that nickname spread rapidly across the industry and within users and in Instagram, and people just noticed. As interesting as a brand redesign is, at least for me, I don't think that the biggest question here is whether or not Instagram made the right decision specifically for their brand. The question that I keep coming back to is, when should a business refresh their brand, and at what point should you just leave something iconic alone? And truth be told, not every single business needs to rebrand just because a few years have gone by and you feel a little bit bored with your logo. I can't determine a very good reason as to why Instagram did this besides them just wanting to refresh their look. In my opinion, Instagram is an iconic business. It's an iconic platform. Whether you like it or not, I believe that Instagram has inherently, well, social media in general has inherently changed the world. It's changed how we shopped. It's changed how we relate to one another, how we connect, for better or for worse. There's lots of conversations to be had on both sides of that. But it is an iconic company that even if it died tomorrow, it would still have this timestamp in history that reflected a cultural shift within the world. And that is a very important place to be. When you have that iconic of a business, I do not think it's worth changing your logo at all. Changing a logo should have been something that happened years ago as Instagram was growing. And I know it's still relatively a young business in the grand scheme of things. And they definitely have the right to change their logo whenever they want. But I think that when you have such an iconic business, changing your logo is really just more about you being bored than about what's actually good for your users and your audience, who's come to identify with and who's come to love your brand and who sees themselves inside of your business. And that's very much what Instagram is. Everybody has their own Instagram page within Instagram, but we all take ownership within this. And changing the logo just because you needed to refresh such an iconic business isn't really a good enough reason for me. Like, whatever happened to just leaving branding alone and letting something iconic just be iconic? I go back to Coca-Cola, who started like 100 years ago. They may have tweaked their logo through the years, but overall their branding has stayed very consistent and it's very iconic. And if they did decide to change it in the future, I feel like enough time's gone by that it would warrant a change. But yet again, they don't, because we have all come to identify the Coca-Cola font and the logo as something that's part of our culture. And frankly, a move like this could just be really not received well, which is sort of what happened with Instagram. The buzz has died down a little bit, and ultimately I don't think people care. But what I want to say is, if you are considering a rebrand of your business, take a pause and think through it. Are you rebranding because you are bored with your business, or are you rebranding because it's what's actually good for your business? Is it what is best for your users and your audience? Does this make sense on the journey that you're on? Obviously, Instagram thought yes. Even though I think they should have thought through that R a little bit. I'm surprised nobody caught that. Like, hey, this looks like a Z, because it just really does. And honestly, now when I open the app, I don't even see it. It doesn't even matter. But it's a conversation worth having, because I think if you're bored with your branding, take a pause and think about it. Like, is this what's best for my audience, or am I doing this because I'm bored? Whether you agree with Instagram changing their Wordmark or not, one thing is certain: even very small branding decisions can spark giant conversations. And small branding decisions can definitely matter and impact your business, and it matters for your audience. That is one of the most interesting parts about this. It's that branding is not just about creating something attractive. It's not just about refreshing something that you feel is stale. It's about creating something that people recognize, something people remember, and something people connect with, which everybody absolutely did with Instagram's original logo. That's why every design decision should solve a problem, support your business goals, and strengthen your identity. If there's one takeaway that I leave you with, it's this: don't change your branding simply just because you're ready for something new. Change it because your audience will be better served by the business that you're becoming. What are your thoughts on this? Did you like the new Wordmark change? Did you hate it? Are you hoping that Instagram refreshes more, or are you wanting the iconic logo to be left alone? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'll see you next week.